Hey everybody, welcome back to another trade recap. I'm just going to jump right into it. It's pretty straightforward. There's a lot of lessons to be learned here, as even for someone like me who's been in the space for quite some time, um, mistakes can still happen, right? And you will essentially lose a bunch of money, right? So today, I ended up losing a little over $600 due to revenge trading and over trading, right? My psychology today was not in check, and I will show you guys exactly what happened. Okay, so right off the rip this morning, if I was able to get on when market opened, which I wasn't, just had some things going on. Immediately after this morning, we dumped off, right? It looked like a liquidity grab slash fill some imbalance, right? So it filled the 15-minute and it filled this 1 minute imbalance, probably a 5 minute. Just don't have it marked out. Immediately after that, we break structure to the upside, major displacement, drop down into this fair value gap, break structure back to the upside. You could have entered easy trade. It's one of those where, man, if you were on, you're one and done, and you were honestly loving yourself because this was just as perfect as, I mean, any type of setup can really get, right? Really straightforward and simple. So we jump over to where I ended up taking trades. This all starts out on the 15-minute where we finally came up, took out these relative equal highs here this morning, right around 9:45, and then we were also inside this 15-minute fair value gap that I knew was eventually going to get filled as we attempted it, four, almost five different times. Which right now it looks like we're making a push to possibly fill it. So once we took out these highs, I was looking for shorts, right? Because we had this major move up, but no retracement, and so I was looking to get the retracement down into whatever type of discount we could get to, right? This looks like it was right here, this fair value gap right before we initially are now starting to push higher. Uh, if you jump over to the 1 minute, I'm gonna look at the trade that I did take. This is where lesson number one: don't ever hesitate when your strategy gives you an entry. My initial entry was here, and I wish I could show that my cursor was hovering over the sell button, but it wasn't. Okay. Um, I was wanting to jump in on this trade initially when this broke structure, but then I was like, okay, we have this major move down. We'll get a fair value up here, almost certain of it, and then we'll retrace into it, and I'll buy off the retrace, look a little more something like that. So I was trying to get a better entry, which makes absolutely no reason, right? It's better just to get in the trade, let the trade right out. And if I would just got in the trade and let the trade right out, I mean, obviously we would have banked on this. But that didn't happen. So what happened was we came down. Now I've got a worse entry. And by the time I entered was off of this break structure candle here. Boom. My stops were right there. And we end up getting stopped out. Immediately after I get stopped out, my bias kind of changed because I knew that this could have just been the retracement. But what I should have stuck with was my original plan, right? When I realized that we had broken 5 minute here. At 10:30. So we broke 5 minute structure on at 10:30, and I was in this trade for shorts at 10:45. So there's a higher time frame confluence telling me to go short, and immediately after I got stopped out in shorts, I decided to go long because my bias changed after getting stopped out, which made no sense now that you look back onto it. But in my head, then obviously it made sense, right? So we end up getting stopped out again, and then it dumps my direction. So I got stopped out by 2 ticks, jumped back in for longs instead, got stopped out. Immediately after that, I looked for longs off of the bounce of this 15-minute, right? But what I initially did was I looked to try to get in longs on NQ, but ended up getting stopped out on NQ here. And then I went to re-enter off of this break of structure candle, but tried to do it on NQ, but actually did it on ES. So overall, major shit show. This goes to show that if you are not keeping yourself in check, the markets will humble you, as it has done to me today. which sucks that that has happened. But honestly, sometimes it's needed. If you aren't careful, it will happen. But the only thing you can do is you need to look at what has happened. You need to identify how it happened, and all you can do is fix it, right? Even somebody like myself who's been in the space for forever can make mistakes, right? And anybody that first starts out is gonna make mistakes. But the only thing you can do is you can go back, you can journal it, and you can fix it. That's kind of the main key lesson in today's recap is, journaling for one is a very, very important tool. Every beginner, every veteran should be doing it. It's the only way you're going to get better is if you journal every single trade you take, what went right, what went wrong. Just fix your flaws and only enhance what you're really good at. With that, that is it for this trade recap. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.